Here Come the Double-Deckers gave 7 children a secret bus, endless adventures, and what looked like a perfect future. Then reality flipped the script. The series was abruptly stopped after only 17 of its planned 26 episodes were completed. One young star vanished from acting before turning 15, another rebuilt herself after Hollywood stopped calling, while a beloved member never lived past 30. This is what really happened to the cast in 2026. Douglas Simmons as Donut. Douglas Simmons was born on February 18, 1958, in England. At 12 years old, he played Donut, the chubby, lovable boy with an endless passion for food, in the Double-Deckers. His portrayal charmed audiences instantly, making him a memorable part of the series while defining the character's comedic essence. Following the show, Simmons faced the harsh realities of being typecast as a chubby, humorous character and endured teasing from peers off-screen. Recognizing the limitations of a fleeting child star fame, he left acting entirely after the series ended. He pursued education and became a leading expert in medical computing research, collaborating with the UK's Department of Health to develop hospital data management systems. Health challenges emerged later in life, shaped partly by his childhood role and physique. Douglas Simmons struggled with weight-related heart issues, which compounded over the years. Despite maintaining an active lifestyle through work and research, the cumulative effects of these conditions remained a constant concern. His medical background allowed him to understand and manage his health proactively, but underlying vulnerabilities persisted, leaving him at heightened risk. Douglas Simmons passed away at the age of 53 on March 15, 2011, due to a severe heart attack. His death shocked fans and colleagues alike, leaving a deep sense of loss for the gentle boy who had once brightened screens as Donut. Gillian Bailey as Billy. Gillian Bailey was born on June 14, 1955, in England. At 15 years old, she played Billy, the sharp, confident girl who never let the boys overshadow her, in the Double-Deckers. Her portrayal brought a progressive female presence to the series, leaving a lasting impression on audiences and shaping the dynamic of the group. Following her early success, Bailey continued acting in television projects such as Follyfoot and The Thursday Play. Yet as she matured, she recognized the harsh realities for women in the acting industry, where substantial roles were increasingly scarce. Determined to take control of her path, she transitioned from acting to academia, eventually earning a doctorate and becoming Dr. Gilly Bush Bailey, a respected scholar and professor specializing in theater and performance studies at prestigious institutions including Royal Holloway, University of London. Her personal life remained stable alongside her professional pursuits. Bailey married actor Richard Bush, and together they raised a daughter, Rebecca. The balance between family and career allowed her to thrive in both worlds, cultivating a fulfilling life away from the glare of show business. As of 2026, Gillian Bailey is 71 years old. She has retired from formal teaching but continues to inspire through her publications, research, and mentorship, leaving a lasting legacy as both an actress and a scholar in the performing arts. Peter Firth as Scooper. Peter Firth was born on October 27, 1953, in England. At 17 years old, he played Scooper, the confident team leader, in The Steve Harvey Show. His portrayal brought charisma and leadership to the screen, leaving a lasting impression on audiences and shaping the dynamic of the ensemble. Transitioning from a child star to a mature actor was not without challenges. After his breakthrough role as Alan Strang in Equus, 1977, which earned him an Academy Award nomination for Best Supporting Actor and a Golden Globe win, Firth continued to shine in theater and film. He later became widely known for his role as Harry Pierce in the acclaimed espionage series Spooks, MI5, from 2002 to 2011, proving his versatility and commitment to complex characters. Peter's personal life mirrored the pressures of his career. He married 3 times, first to Maya Maron, then Joanna Foster, both unions ending in divorce amid the intense demands of acting. In 2017, he married Alexandra Pigg, finding stability later in life. Over more than 50 years in the entertainment industry, Firth gradually scaled back his workload to focus on rest and personal life while maintaining his influence in theater and television. As of 2026, Peter Firth is 72 years old. He enjoys a quieter life, occasionally appearing at special events and retrospectives, reflecting on a career that spans decades, with his legacy firmly cemented in British film and television history. Brinsley Forde as Spring. Brinsley Forde was born on October 16, 1953, in England. At 16 years old, he played Spring, the clever and energetic member of the team, in The Steve Harvey Show. His role brought vibrancy and humor to the show, making Spring an audience favorite. Facing the limitations of roles for black actors in 1970s, Britain, Forde pivoted to music after the series ended. He became a founding member and lead singer of the reggae band Aswad, achieving international hits like Don't Turn Around, UK #1 in 1988, and Shine, and earning 2 Grammy nominations along the way. His dedication and talent were recognized with an MBE in 2015. Forde's career demanded relentless touring and public attention, which took a toll on his physical and mental well-being. He left Aswad in 1996 to focus on his health and personal life, stepping back from the intensity of constant performance. His son, Jermaine Forde, later followed in his footsteps into music production, continuing the family's creative legacy. As of 2026, Brinsley Forde is 72 years old. He now leads a peaceful life, occasionally performing at music events and festivals, with his health stabilized and his contributions to reggae and British music celebrated worldwide. Michael Audreson as Brains. Michael Audreson was born on August 1, 1956, in England. At 14 years old, he played Brains, the group's genius inventor who devised solutions to every problem, in the Double Deckers. His role made the character indispensable to the team, highlighting the brains behind the fun and adventure of the series. After the show ended, Audreson, like many of his peers, struggled to find age-appropriate roles, appearing briefly in Young Winston, 1971, and 2 episodes of The Tomorrow People, 1978. Facing limited opportunities, he shifted his focus behind the camera, building a career as a writer, director, and independent producer, channeling his creativity into shaping stories from a new perspective. Audreson also prioritized family and personal life, creating a stable environment away from public scrutiny. His dedication to his craft and his loved ones allowed him to cultivate a meaningful career without the pressures of mainstream fame. As of 2026, Michael Audreson is 70 years old. He enjoys a quiet but creatively fulfilling life, continuing to work on independent projects and maintaining good health, embodying a successful transition from child actor to accomplished filmmaker and storyteller. Ruth Kettlewell as the Duchess. Ruth Kettlewell was born on April 13, 1913, in England. At 60 years old, she played the Duchess, a dignified, authoritative presence in the series, bringing her trademark stern yet charming persona to the screen. Her portrayal added depth to the show's social satire, making the Duchess a memorable figure despite limited screen time. After her role as the Duchess, Kettlewell continued a long and steady career in British television and theater. She appeared in early episodes of All Gas and Gaiters as Mrs. Grace Pugh Critchley, acted alongside Harry Worth, Joan Sims, and Derek Guyler, and featured in shows such as Hope and Keene's Crazy House, early 1970s. Kettlewell specialized in playing strong-willed landladies and mothers-in-law, and her versatility allowed her to work across adult and children's productions well into her 80s. In her personal life, Ruth married the Reverend Robert Kettlewell at age 18. Tragedy struck when her husband died from scarlet fever contracted while serving as a wartime Army Padre. Ruth herself served honorably in the Women's Land Army from 1942 to 1946. She remained devoted to her faith throughout her life, actively participating in the Actors' Church Union and directing amateur devotional productions at St. Augustine of Canterbury in Highgate, where she also served as churchwarden and sacristan. Ruth Kettlewell passed away on July 17, 2007, in London at the age of 94. She died peacefully, leaving behind a legacy of over 5 decades of character work in British television and theatre. She is remembered for her professionalism, her ability to elevate even brief roles, and her unwavering commitment to her faith and community. Bruce Clark as Styx. Bruce Clark was born on March 15, 1955, in the United States. At 15 years old, he played Styx, the calm, rhythm-keeping African-American drummer of the group, in the Double Deckers. His steady presence helped balance the energy of the ensemble, making the music-driven scenes feel lively yet harmonious, and contributing significantly to the show's appeal. After the series ended in 1971, Clark faced the challenge of leaving a high-profile child acting career behind. He appeared briefly in 2 episodes of Doctor Who, 1973, and a single TV pilot for Rhythm and Rhyme, 1974, but soon chose to step away from the entertainment industry. Returning to the United States, he settled in Atlanta, Georgia, and focused on local community projects, including leading youth percussion workshops and mentoring high school music programs. Clark maintained an active life in music and community engagement while prioritizing his family. He married Natalie in 1982, and together they raised a child. Over the decades, he occasionally performed at regional jazz and school festivals in Georgia, including the Atlanta Jazz Festival, 1985, 1987, 1992, and local events at Morehouse College and Spelman College. His life, though far from Hollywood, remained closely tied to music, passing on expertise to the next generation while enjoying a grounded, stable lifestyle. As of 2026, Bruce Clark is 71 years old and continues to live in Atlanta, Georgia with his wife Natalie and their child. He remains active in community music programs, teaching percussion and mentoring young musicians at local schools and community centers. He fully avoids social media and public press, keeping a private yet impactful life centered on education and music. Melvyn Hayes, as Albert Melvyn Hayes, was born on January 11, 1935, in England. At 35 years old, he played Albert, the cantankerous but kind-hearted street sweeper, in The Double Deckers. His portrayal added warmth and humor to the series, creating a beloved adult character who balanced the youthful energy of the group. After the show, Hayes reached the peak of his career with the role of Gunner Gloria Beaumont in the BBC sitcom It Ain't Half Hot Mum, 1974 to 1981, solidifying his fame across the UK. His personal life included a rich romantic history. Married first to Wendy Padbury, with whom he had 2 daughters, then later marrying Jane Mayle in 1984 and having 3 more children. In 2009, Hayes was diagnosed with coronary heart disease, initially causing indigestion and later affecting his mobility. He underwent bypass surgery at St. Mary's Hospital in Portsmouth, but continued working on theater productions, maintaining his sharp wit and humor despite health challenges. As of 2026, Melvyn Hayes is 91 years old, one of the longest-lived actors of his generation. He continues to enjoy life, remaining mentally sharp and humorously engaging, even as he reflects on a career that has spanned decades of television and theater. Debbie Russ as Tiger. Debbie Russ was born on August 2, 1960, in England. At 10 years old, she played Tiger, the mischievous young girl always carrying her beloved toy tiger, in The Double Deckers. Her performance captured the imagination of audiences, making Tiger a standout character and a symbol of playful energy in the series. Debbie's early fame brought considerable pressure, as she had to navigate school life under constant public attention. After the series, she appeared in The Adventurer, 1972, and The Protectors, 1973, continuing to build her acting resume. Eventually, she made the deliberate decision to step away from screen acting and pursue a career in broadcasting, which allowed her to leverage her communication skills and creativity in a more sustainable way. Her transition to radio proved successful. Debbie became a prominent newsreader for BBC World Service Radio and later a presenter on BBC Radio 4 Extra. She carefully guarded her private life, choosing to focus on her work rather than public scrutiny, and occasionally revisited her acting past in interviews and nostalgic retrospectives. As of 2026, Debbie Russ is 65 years old. She currently lives in Tokyo and works as a radio disc jockey, enjoying the freedom and independence of her chosen life path. While she rarely appears in television, she still participates in occasional interviews and special events celebrating the legacy of the Double-Deckers, remaining a beloved figure to fans of the show. Bob Todd, as the war film director. Bob Todd was born on December 15, 1921, in England. At 48 years old, he played a cameo as a hot-tempered war film director in The Double-Deckers, delivering his comedic timing with a sharp, physical style that left a lasting impression in the series. His performance added an extra layer of chaotic humor and highlighted his talent for slapstick comedy. Todd was best known as one of the greatest comedic faces on British television, famously acting as Benny Hill's golden partner in The Benny Hill Show. Despite the laughter he brought to millions, Todd's career carried intense pressures. The demands of creating inventive physical comedy sketches, enduring relentless filming schedules, and living in the shadow of Benny Hill caused significant stress and professional strain. In his personal life, Todd maintained a long-lasting marriage to his wife Monica, with whom he had 3 children. However, he battled severe alcoholism in his later years, a struggle that took a heavy toll on both his physical and mental health, compounding the pressures he had experienced from decades of performing. Bob Todd died on October 21, 1992, at the age of 70 in Sussex, England. His passing marked the end of a turbulent but highly impactful career in comedy. Despite his struggles, he is remembered as a brilliant physical comedian whose work brought joy to generations and cemented his place as a stalwart of British humor. Ivor Salter as the policeman. Ivor Salter was born on November 15, 1929, in England. At around 40 years old, he played the local policeman, a strict authority figure setting boundaries for the children's antics, in The Double-Deckers. His portrayal added structure and comic tension to the series, making his character a memorable foil to the mischievous kids. Throughout his career, Salter was a well-known character actor in British television, appearing in shows such as Doctor Who, Nearest and Dearest, as Snatcher Snelling, The Gaffer, as Returning Officer, On the Buses, and The Diary of Samuel Pepys. He also had recurring roles in Crossroads, 1978 to 1980, as Reg Cotterill, and appeared in 3 episodes of All Creatures Great and Small as Gobber Newhouse. His professional consistency allowed him to remain a familiar face to audiences for decades, despite mostly playing supporting roles. Ivor Salter lived a quiet personal life, free from scandal. He focused on his craft, balancing steady television work with modest private endeavors. His dedication to acting made him respected among colleagues, and he was remembered as a dependable performer who always delivered solid performances on screen. Salter passed away quietly on June 17, 1994, at the age of 65. His death was peaceful, without any public controversy or scandal, leaving behind a legacy of dedication to British television and stage. Colleagues fondly remembered him as a committed, hard-working actor who embodied the spirit of a true craftsman. John Barrard as King of Diamonds. John Barrard was born on September 12, 1924, in South Africa. At 46 years old, he played the flamboyant King of Diamonds in The Double-Deckers. His portrayal brought theatrical flair and memorable charm to the series, making the character a standout among the ensemble. Building on this early success, Barrard developed a distinguished career in British television and film despite the challenges of emigrating from South Africa to England. He appeared in numerous supporting roles in productions such as Santa Claus, The Movie, 1985, and several episodes of Doctor Who. The pressure of starting from scratch in a competitive London entertainment scene shaped him into a resilient and versatile actor. Outside of the spotlight, Barrard kept his personal life largely private, focusing on his craft and maintaining professionalism across decades of work. His dedication ensured he left behind a legacy of hundreds of memorable supporting roles without attracting scandal or controversy. John Barrard passed away on October 13, 2013 in London at the age of 89 due to natural causes associated with aging. His death marked the end of a remarkable career spanning stage, film, and television, leaving behind a rich repertoire of performances cherished by audiences and colleagues alike. Frank Thornton as Mr. Parsons. Frank Thornton was born on January 15, 1921, in England. At 49 years old, he played the stern yet endearing Mr. Parsons in The Double-Deckers, contributing to the series' structured humor and providing a grounding presence for the ensemble. His performance added depth and consistency, making the character a quietly memorable part of the show. Following this, Thornton's career reached global fame, highlighted by his iconic roles as Captain Peacock in Are You Being Served? 1972 to 1985, and Truly in Last of the Summer Wine. He also starred in the London musical Me and My Girl in 1984, earning an Olivier Award nomination, guest starred in the BBC radio series Dad's Army, and appeared in Gosford Park, 2001. Each role built on the previous, cementing his status as one of Britain's most respected comic actors. In his personal life, Thornton enjoyed a stable marriage with Beryl J. Foster from 1945 until his death, and they had one daughter together. His family life provided balance and support, allowing him to navigate the pressures of decades-long fame while maintaining privacy and stability. Frank Thornton passed away peacefully in his sleep on March 16, 2013, at the age of 92 at his home. His passing closed a chapter on one of Britain's most beloved comic actors, leaving a legacy of iconic television performances and a reputation for charm, professionalism, and longevity in the entertainment industry. Damaris Hayman as Miss Finch. Damaris Hayman was born on June 16, 1929, in England. At 42 years old, she played Miss Finch, the kind-hearted schoolteacher, in The Double-Deckers. Her gentle and supportive portrayal added warmth to the series, making Miss Finch a memorable figure among the young cast. Following her role in The Double-Deckers, Hayman built a distinguished career as a character actress in British television and film. She appeared in Doctor Who, The Demons, 1971, as Olive Hawthorne, and had roles in Mutiny on the Buses, 1972, Love Thy Neighbor, 1973, Man About the House, 1974, and The Pink Panther Strikes Again, 1976, consistently bringing charm and professionalism to every performance. Her experience allowed her to navigate both comedy and drama, earning respect from colleagues and audiences alike. Outside of acting, Hayman chose a life of independence and devoted herself to the arts and charitable work with the church. She remained active in supporting theater and television projects behind the scenes, mentoring younger actors and participating in events celebrating the golden era of British television. As of 2026, Damaris Hayman is 97 years old and lives peacefully in England. She is regarded as one of the few living witnesses of Britain's classic television era, her legacy preserved through decades of beloved performances and dedication to the craft. Jane Seymour as Alice. Jane Seymour was born on February 15, 1951, in England. At 19 years old, she played Alice, a brief but memorable character, in The Double-Deckers. Despite her short screen time, the role marked the beginning of a career that would captivate audiences worldwide. After her appearance as Alice, Seymour rose to international stardom, becoming the iconic Bond girl Solitaire in Live and Let Die, 1973, and earning global recognition for her lead role in Dr. Quinn, Medicine Woman, which won her a Golden Globe. Her early exposure opened doors to film and television projects that showcased her versatility, making her a household name. Jane Seymour's personal life, however, has been marked by turbulence. She experienced 4 marriages, to Michael Attenborough, Geoffrey Planer, David Flynn, and James Keach, each ending in divorce. The legal battles over finances and child custody during these splits, particularly with David Flynn, brought her under intense media scrutiny, causing periods of depression and emotional strain. As of 2026, Jane Seymour is 75 years old. She remains active in public life, maintaining her health and elegance through yoga and physical activity, continuing to appear in select television and film projects while embracing a balanced, fulfilling lifestyle after decades in the spotlight. Pat Coombs as Doris Fisher. Pat Coombs was born on August 27, 1926, in England. At 44 years old, she appeared as Doris Fisher, a guest character bringing comic relief in The Double-Deckers. Her performance, though brief, added charm to the episode and highlighted her signature timing that made her a beloved figure in British sitcoms. After her appearance on The Double-Deckers, Coombs continued a prolific career in British television and radio comedy. She became a regular presence in shows such as You're Only Young Twice, 1980 to 1983, and made guest appearances in George and Mildred, 1976 to 1979, and Dad's Army, 1971 to 1977. Despite her success, she faced the long-term struggle of chronic health issues that increasingly limited her ability to perform. Coombs battled severe osteoporosis for many years, which made her bones extremely fragile and prone to fractures, causing intense pain and restricting her mobility. These physical limitations affected her work and daily life, forcing her to reduce her public appearances and focus on managing her condition. She never married, dedicating much of her life to her craft and the close network of fellow performers in British comedy. Pat Coombs passed away on May 25, 2002, at a care home for artists in Middlesex at the age of 75. Her death was due to heart failure, a complication exacerbated by her long-term osteoporosis. She is remembered as a steadfast and professional figure in British comedy, whose contributions to radio and television left a lasting legacy for generations of audiences. So that's the Here Come the Double-Deckers cast in 2026. From unforgettable childhood adventures to remarkable careers, heartbreaking losses, and surprising life journeys, time has changed them in ways few fans expected. Which cast member surprised you the most? And who was your favorite double-decker? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more Then and Now updates.